As the night deepened, the sky sank lower over the earth. Uranus still covered everything, and beneath him Gaia held the pain she had endured for so long. From the outside, the world was quiet. But that quiet was not peace. It was closer to the moment when long-pressed powers catch their breath. The stone sickle Gaia made was cold and hard. It was not just a weapon. It was a decision drawn from the deepest part of the earth. Before an oppression that could not be persuaded by words or loosened by waiting, Gaia made a tool that would change the order of the world. The one who received that sickle was Cronus, the youngest Titan. Cronus was born later than his brothers, but in this moment he stood ahead of them all. It was probably not only because he was brave. There must also have been fear. His father was vast like the sky itself, and the children had been pressed down too long beneath him. To raise a hand against the father was more than rebellion inside a family. It was to crack the first order of the world. In Greek myth, this scene is told very harshly, but if we look only at the brutality, we miss the deeper structure the story is trying to show. What happens here is not merely a child harming a father. It is the story of what happens when the born cannot find their place. When the world that gives birth and the world that covers it can no longer endure together, and when suppressed force breaks out in some form. Uranus came down to Gaia night after night. The scene of sky covering Earth may first look like union, but now it feels like suffocating pressure. The sky descending from above, the earth unable to move, and the children between them without names of their own. The first house of the world had long since stopped being a warm home. It had become a place where one person's fear pressed down on the lives of others. Cronus waited, hidden in the dark. In his hand was the stone sickle. This waiting is not simple ambush. It is the stillness just before an age meets its end. Nothing has happened yet, but everything is already preparing to change. Some moments alter the weight of the air before they actually arrive. When Uranus came down, Cronus no longer stepped back. He swung the stone sickle toward the authority of his father, toward the immense body of the sky, toward the place no one had ever dared to touch. Through this scene, myth shows how the first kingship breaks. The moment reveals for the first time that no one can rule forever only because he stands above. Blood flowed from that wound. It fell from the sky and soaked into the earth. Gaia received it again. Once more, the earth holds blood. But this is not only the gentle holding that prepares new life. It is the holding of oppression and violence in the body of memory. The earth, in myth, does not forget. It remembers who pressed down, who wounded, and what blood fell upon it. The fall of Uranus does not mean the sky disappears. The sky still remains over the world. But it can no longer remain as an absolute power, pressing everything from close above. A distance opens between sky and earth. That distance is the space where children can breathe, and where the world can make its next order. After the violent scene, the most important change left behind is that distance. When Cronus won, the world may have seemed free. The trapped powers were released, and the pressure of the sky moved away. But myth does not speak only of the joy of victory. The child who brought down the father now stands in the place of power himself. The hand that cuts oppression does not always remain as new justice. When that hand takes the throne, another fear can begin. So Cronus is both liberator and the shadow of an uneasy new ruler. He ended his father's violence, but his way left a wound. He opened a world closed by force with force. Sometimes that looks like an unavoidable transition, but myth never says it comes without cost. When an order collapses, its pieces always remain in someone's body and mind. Gaia's role is not simple either. She is not only a victim. She is the earth that endured, the mother who made a plan, and the one who placed a tool in her child's hand. Gaia is the power that gives life, but when that life is crushed, she turns into a fearsome decision. In this myth, the earth is not only gentle. When pressed for too long, the earth makes an answer, like a blade, inside itself. If we think about it, this is a scene of an old family and also a scene of power. The names parent, king, and sky do not give anyone permission to press another down forever. When the word love hides control, when order hides fear, and when protection justifies imprisonment, A relationship eventually breaks from within. Uranus has fallen. But his fall is not simply the defeat of one god. It is the first event in which the power ruling over the world reveals its limit. The sky came too close and suffocated the earth, and he locked his children inside his own fear. As a result, the oldest order raised rebellion within itself. Under the blood-stained sky, Cronus opens the door of a new age, but that door is not clear or bright. On its threshold lie the wound of the father, the pain of the mother, and the fear and decision of the child. The beginning of power in Greek myth is not clean. The order of the world is always made by passing through someone's wound. What remained was silence. The sky had moved away, the earth could breathe, and Cronus now stood in another place. An age had ended, but the fact that it ended did not mean everything became good. Where old violence withdraws, a new question always remains. Can the one who gains power walk a path different from the fear he hated? The fall of Uranus leaves that question in the middle of the world.